Right, it's that time now. You've got to go out and collect the catalogues. When you go out, make sure you've got everything you need, the bag, the list, your little record sheet of where you've dropped the catalogues, and any tomorrow tickets or 5 to 8 tickets. So it'll save you time if you're prepared well beforehand. So now when you go out, you pick the first catalogue up. If it's outside, then with every catalogue you pick up, we recommend that check on the order form. If there's anything that's been ordered, just make sure that the name and address are actually on the top of the order form. There's nothing worse than getting back home with a £25 order and finding out that there's no name and address on there. So get into the habit right from the start of checking every single order form and looking if people have written on there, because you'll find that some customers actually put all the catalogues back in exactly the same order that you've packed them in the first place. So always check every order form. When you go in there, if you're putting your tickets through the letterbox, if they're not left outside, then don't put your fingers through the letterbox, because sometimes there might be a dog sitting the other side there. If the catalogues are not left outside, then it's all dependent on the time you've got available. If you've got plenty of time, then you can knock on the door the first time and ask for the catalogue back. But what we tend to do is just put a tomorrow ticket, or if you can go in the mornings if you've got the time and go back again in the evening, put a I'll be back between 5 o'clock and 8 ticket, because what happens then is when the people come home from work, they see that and then they'll quickly make an order out and put it back outside. By doing that, you'll get more of the catalogues back the first day, so that you can turn them around and put them straight back out, so they're not sitting in there more time than they need. You will find that a lot of customers don't put them out because they put an order in there, but by putting the tickets in, it actually helps you to get more orders. If you can only go back the one time in a day, then put them out with put the tomorrow ticket through the letterbox. Or if you go back in the evening, it's not left outside, put a tomorrow ticket through, but keep good records of where you've got to go back to. When you go back the following day to pick up the stragglers, we call them, if it's not left outside, make sure you knock on the door. So knock and ask for the catalogue back. If there's nobody in, then you can always put another tomorrow ticket in if you're back in that area the following day. Once you've picked the catalogues up, reset them, so put them all in exactly the same order as you've been putting them previously. Put a different day ticket in, or if you're just using tomorrow tickets, leave the tomorrow ticket in there and then put them straight back out, because then you haven't got to keep going back home and sort them there. But the idea is the more catalogues you put out, the quicker, the more customers you're going to find, and it's going to save you a lot more time. Keep good records of all the catalogues you've picked. When you get back home, that's when you fill the customer record sheet in, that's in your stage 1 pack and in the masters. Just do one of those for every road, filling in the customer's details and the amount of their order. And then in 5 weeks time you go back to exactly the same area. Obviously the ones that have said they don't want the catalogue, that's the list of no drops at the bottom of the customer record sheet. Then make sure you don't waste a catalogue in those houses, and you'll find that some customers who bought the first time, they'll buy the second time. You'll find that some are occasional buyers, but once you've been back 5 or 6 times to each area, then basically that is your customer list, and then you just put that on another sheet of paper, the customer houses, and then that's where you go on a regular 4 or 5 week cycle. That's what we call building a customer base. A lot of things you're going to come across is the clean easy plop, which is when you put a catalogue through a letterbox, you're going up the next drive and you hear that plop. It's that customer, or well, that householder doesn't want the catalogue, so they throw the catalogue straight back out, which is good because you go back up there, pick the catalogue up, and it can go in somebody else's house. It does happen from time to time. Occasionally you might get one thrown at you. Some people think they're frisbees, but there's some silly people out there. When you go to collect the catalogues, you might get some people who've thrown it in the bin. Uh, some people do. Some accidentally, some do it on purpose, and they'll tell you they've thrown it in the bin. But be brave, like I am now. I ask, is it near the top of the bin? And a lot of times they give it you back. But the thing to do there is, if it wasn't an accident and they'd thrown it in the bin, then put it down as a no drop, so you don't waste the catalogue there the next time. Occasionally it happens, you put 100 or 200 catalogues out and you might not pick a single order up. And in the team, the first 100, she picked no orders up. The second 100, no orders. But now she averages £5, £6, £7 a catalogue. She put 41 catalogues out the other week and picked up over £400 of orders. So the early days, be prepared that you will have some not very good pickups. It does happen. We do live in the UK, and it does rain quite a bit, but be prepared. We've helped you that way, as on the resources site there's some wet weather tips, so make sure you have a look at that, and there's lots of tips that will help you in the wet weather. And remember, skin is waterproof, so you're not going to drown, and just make sure you got the right clothes on for whatever the weather's doing. We mentioned this when you were dropping the catalogues, is you've never seen a Clean Easy distributor till you started, but you will see loads out there. But as we said before, just ignore the other distributors, make sure you've got the biggest smile and offer the best service, and just go back regularly and we'll all find customers. There are a few Victor Meldrews out there. We live in Birmingham. There's a few Victoria Meldrews. They can give you a mouthful when you go to collect the catalogue. But the good thing about this business is, if there's somebody you don't like that, don't give them another catalogue and you never see them again. You might be unlucky, you might be in a job where you sit next to this person every day. But here you decide who your customers are. So in 6 months' time, you're going to be left with just nice customers. You will get dogs. Sometimes you'll get your catalogues chewed to bits. I've got one or two customers who've got dogs who do eat and chew the catalogues, but we've got an arrangement where we put the catalogue outside and then just knock on the door and they pick the catalogue up, so they don't eat the catalogue. And the other thing with dogs, remember, don't put your fingers through the letterbox. That dog might be sitting on the other side thinking, oh, 5 sausages come through here, I'll eat them. Also, some people complain because it gets too hot. The sun, yeah, we do get some nice sunny days, so it's nice doing the retail in the summer when you put your shorts on and t-shirt and go round and make the most of the good weather. So get out there and do it. So building a customer base, it can give you the freedom to do lots of things in the time that you want. So building that customer base, blanket dropping, what you're going to find is, if you drop 100 catalogues, in the early days you're going to average around about 5 or 10 orders out of those 100 catalogues, and you'll pick up roughly £50 to £100 worth of orders. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes a bit less. We averaged, I think it was £42 a catalogue when we started, but I was happy with that because I hadn't actually seen any of those customers, so it proved to me that the business worked. I just needed to put more catalogues out to build those averages up. Once you've got a customer base, you put 100 catalogues out and you can get anything from 15 to 30 orders, and that can be roughly £100, £400 worth of orders just from 100 catalogues. Sometimes you'll pick up a lot more than that. I just said about an average £10 a catalogue, and it's all dependent on which customers you go back to. You can choose whether you just go to the ones who put the big orders in. It's entirely down to you. Put an order in every week. If you're putting your catalogues out regularly, persistently, consistently, then you should aim to put an order in every week, and that's good because it gets the customers, you get the goods to the customers quicker. If an item's out of stock, then you can tell them that it should be here the following week, and most of the time it is. And don't starve yourself of catalogues, especially in the early days. It's like if you were a taxi driver and you didn't put fuel into your taxi, you wouldn't have a business. In Clean Easy, the retailing and the catalogues is the fuel that moves your business forward in the early days, and the profit you get from the retail, that's what you can invest in more catalogues or into advertising to go into the sponsoring side of the business. In the early days, it does feel that you're putting a lot of time and effort in for not a lot of income. And that's what it's like in the early days. Any business, no matter what sort of business is, any shops on the high street, the owners of that business are going to be working 10, 15, 20 hours a day in the early days to build that business, to get it off the ground. Clean Easy is no different. You've got to put the time and effort in the early days, but once you've established that customer base, you'll be putting a lot less time in for the same amount of orders. If you go into the team building side right from the start as well, that income can grow massively.